That was a weak clap.
Yep.
Hi, and welcome to the Arts District Podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Georgia.
And this is episode 32.
I think so.
We are in Toronto once again at Georgia's place.
It is noisy as usual.
It's happy hour.
That is true as well.
Cheers, episode
Cheers.
32.
Yay.
Okay, so yeah, there's a bit of a party going on once again downstairs. So we will just make do with the noise level.
Mm-hmm. We've also got to record this episode in 30 minutes because we have Indian food coming.
Yes, it's one of those nights.
Yeah.
Ordering in margaritas. Friday.
Yeah, margaritas and Indian.
Yum.
It's kind of weird, but...
Yeah, gonna leave bad breath.
Oh, fusion.
Yeah. Okay, so I have two things I want to talk about today. One is kind of fun, and one is kind of not so fun.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, maybe start with the not so fun,
Maybe.
and then we'll have fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'll say what I'm talking about.
The table of contents.
Yes. Yeah. So I have another book to mention, Georgia's Book Club. And then I'm going to be going to a thing tomorrow, so I'll talk a little bit about that, and then hopefully have some footage from that from Saturday that I can add in when I edit.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned this in last week's episode. I started a new job and I just haven't had time to really look into new music, which is funny because I'm working at the place where all the music filters through. But so I'm sorry I don't have an artist to really focus on. But anyways, okay, so kind of sad news. Well, actually no, it's good news, but it's like the Y2K of the music biz news.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, so look at this. Well, okay, my source, and I'll put the link in for this, where I found the article. It came from a site called digitalmusicnews.com. I think they're like the People magazine of tech news. Like, they always say our sources, a source close to this.
Oh, right.
But it's like, okay, well, how good are your sources? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the article that they put out. It's called 14 Billion Spotify Acquisition Happening Next Week. And it's very kind of hush-hush about who this buyer is of Spotify. But yes, they're purchasing Spotify for, the article said, north of $14 billion, which is a lot of money. And the buyer isn't being disclosed, but the Wall Street Journal has said, well, their source has said, that they are already preparing for a front page story for next Wednesday morning. So if this all goes through, it's going to be next week, which is kind of crazy how soon it's going to happen. It all is kind of coming after Spotify was being put under great pressure from Universal and Sony, trying to get them to eliminate their free access tier. I've never used Spotify. I know a lot of people that have used it. I think you start off with a free account, but you can pay a little bit extra and listen to more songs. I think if you have like the free account, you can only listen to a song so many times.
Oh, okay.
Before it kind of expires. So Universal and Sony, and I understand why probably a lot of other labels don't like that, because they're not making any money. And if they're not making money, then the artists that they represent aren't making any money. It's also been said in their sources that YouTube has agreed to stop showing free music videos entirely if Spotify agrees to close this deal with the no free access tier. Yeah, so how crazy would that be? Like, how long have we had YouTube now? And I know that's, if I'm going to listen to music online for free, I go to YouTube, because I don't, like, it's just kind of a one-off thing. It's not like I'm listening to it on repeat. It's just I need to hear something right away, and I'll go on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So if this happens, it's all going to be shut off by next Wednesday.
Whoa.
So you'll go on and you'll either have to pay a subscription fee, or, I mean, in the first couple months of this, I see it being kind of slow going. Like, this article says completely shut off by next Wednesday.
Wow.
Free music sources.
How likely is this?
I know.
Or
I mean, that's
it
what I mean.
like,
It's like the Y2K. It's like, we're all like freaking out. Like, our computer's going to crash. But,
wow. So is that, like, because YouTube has that, like, VEVO thing, but isn't that a partnership with one of the...
VEVO's all videos, right?
Yeah, but it, like VEVO is, like, a channel, or music videos through VEVO, I think, there's a partnership with one of the large labels, I think. I thought it was something like that, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would die, because I think it's a partnership with one of the labels.
Yeah, it might depend. It might only be for videos that are being put up online. Like, a lot of record labels put their artists' songs with, like, a nice video, and it'll say, like, right on the video, like, Universal. It's, like, part of the Universal channel or whatever. So maybe those ones. If you want to watch the one with the ultimate sound quality and the real music video, you'll have to pay. But people, like, I don't think there's a way of getting around people uploading, like, bootleg copies and trying to not modify. What's the word I'm thinking of? Just, like, keep an eye on it and try to clean all that up, because
right. Well, they do have, like, algorithms that can detect things. You know, so it's hard to say, because I've definitely had stuff that is not what the algorithm thinks it is have copyright claims pop up.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, I own that. Like, I have the rights to use that track, but they'll come up and say, this is such and such. I'm like, actually, it's not. But, you know, so they do have, like, and I'm sure they do catch a lot of people through that kind of software that can, like, match things.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's definitely, if it goes ahead, it's going to be really interesting. I think it's a good thing, because I'm not one of those people that has an MP3, like, downloading thing like Napster, or because I don't even know what the new one is.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had it in, like, 10 years. So, yeah, I'm all for artists getting paid, and I think people should be paying for music. I mean, where did the idea come from that it should be free? That's just ridiculous to me. Nothing with that much value should be free. So yeah, just going on here. This is all kind of alongside the RIAA, which I've mentioned before, the Recording Industry Association of America. They're the ones that give out all the gold, platinum, double platinum award kind of things. Their CEO, Carrie Sherman, is planning to announce a bombshell deal with Russian cultural ambassador Viktor Petrov, which I'm pretty sure is the president's name in House of Cards for Russia, that will close 99% of legal torrent and MP3 download sites in the country. So because I don't frequent these sites, I don't know if Russia is, like, a big supplier of these torrent sites.
Maybe.
I know a lot of them are foreign. So it could be. When I think of Russia, I think of people that are really good, like, computers, like, hackers and military. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. This is also coupled with an initiative by U.S. Department of Homeland Security Special Advisor Douglas Stamper, which is also a character in House of Cards. Crazy.
How likely is it?
Yeah, I know. When I was reading this, I'm like, okay, somebody is just making this up. Yeah, their initiative is to block virtually all illegal music sites worldwide. So, interesting stuff going on. The whole war on piracy has been going on since YouTube started up, and all of those like torrent sites and download sites. So it's an interesting fight. Hopefully we can win it. But I don't know if we're the minority. I don't know what's gonna happen. What was linked on the side of this article, and if you go click on the link to this article, the 14 billion acquisition Spotify one, you'll see a link on the right hand side, but I'll also throw this link in. There's a Grammy-winning artist who has posted their royalty sheet, like what they get, their royalty statements from their PRO, their Performing Rights Organization, to show you how much they get quarterly from services like Spotify and Pandora, satellite radio, stuff like that. And it's actually crazy. Like, you don't think that they're getting ripped off, but they totally are. This person, one just quick thing from it, 2,000 plays on Spotify got them 60 cents.
Wow.
If they got 2,000 plays on radio, that would accumulate a lot of money. Radio pays out pretty well. They're generous. Streaming services, not so much. And yet, if you're paying this, like, think about all the people that probably have a subscription to Spotify. They're paying probably like $10 a month or something.
Not to mention all the ad revenue they get.
Yeah, and they're giving that much to artists. Who's making all the money? Who's like the CEO of Spotify? I'd like to see what their bank account looks like, and how unfair is that?
It's the same on YouTube. It's like YouTube has the pre-roll ads, and you get like nothing.
It's pretty crazy. So interesting. Definitely recommend you check out both of these links. Read the article for yourself, and read the Grammy Award winner's statement for royalties. And I don't know. We'll see what all goes down next week. It'll be definitely a crazy thing to experience if it all goes through.
We'll keep you updated in episode 33.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention too. This is all kind of happening while Apple is deciding to relaunch their Beats music, because Apple, I think, bought out Beats, like, you know, those Beats headphones, Dr. Dre kind of thing. Well, that whole company, I guess they bought it out, and they had started Beats Music, and I guess they're like relaunching it, rebranding kind of thing. And the whole idea is to rival Spotify. So they're kind of late on the bandwagon with this, because if Spotify sells to this unknown buyer, Apple and Beats are going to be like, well, okay, where does that leave them? Because their idea was to do like a $9.99 subscription a month, and you get like, you know, playlists and other stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Before I start this, I'm going to check the camera battery. So the first thing that I want to talk about is another book. So welcome back to George's Book Club. This, I don't know if you can see it very well, it's Relish, and it is by Knisley, and she does sort of graphic travel logs, and this is a graphic memoir talking about sort of growing up in Manhattan / rural New York, and having parents that are like a food critic and a caterer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's got some cool recipes
What a
in it.
childhood.
I know.
Oh, it's like a comic book.
Yeah, it's like a graphic memoir type thing. So it's got some cool like illustrated recipes and stuff. Lucy is, like I said, from New York. She, I think, now lives in Chicago, and she's an illustrator, comic book creator, and yeah, she does these travel logs and stuff. She's also done work for like Marvel, and yeah, I think that's about it about this. She's got a really good website where she has a blog that she's updating little comics too about her life, and there's a really good video in her about section where she goes through all about creating these travel logs and how you can do it and stuff like that.
That's the idea of what it looks like inside. So you already read this?
Yep.
How long does it take you to read something like this?
They're like graphic memoirs are a quick read. Like it's the size of a normal novel.
Could you read this in a day?
Probably.
Yeah.
I've read it pretty sporadically, but yeah, it reads really quickly. Like I can read one of the chapters in like 10 minutes before I go to bed. So most of the chapters end with a recipe, which is really great.
Yeah, like I'm trying to find one. Sorry, whenever people say graphic memoirs, and you're like the only person that I ever hear talking about graphic memoirs, I always, my first thought is always like a graphic novel, like Harlequin romance or something, like steamy erotica or something.
Why?
Yeah, just the word graphic and book.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. So there's a recipe, huevos rancheros.
Yeah.
Do you like my pronunciation there?
Yeah, huevos rancheros. So good.
I can't be the only person that thinks that, but anyways, yes, this looks good.
Yeah, it is good.
Although I think that should be a pickle, because relish is made from pickles, not olives.
I guess that's true. But
whoever did she draw these?
The
illustrations?
Yeah.
That looks familiar to me.
That's her.
That style. I don't know. Maybe I've seen it before. Anyways.
Yeah, so this was
That's
recommended
cool.
by a friend of mine, and I've been sort of like out of love with cooking just because of the time of semester and the time of year, and I'm just getting tired of cooking for myself. And this is sort of helping to revive that, because there's so much about food. Like, so much of her growing up is experienced through food, and There's some travel stories about food and cooking stories and recipes and stuff like that. So it's sort of helping me get back into being connected to food and not just eating because you need to eat to live, but living to eat.
I love food. If I wasn't in music, I would love to be a food critic. You get to go eat for free, like, all over the place, and you get to try, like, the best things on the menu. Like, how do you even become a food critic? I guess you have to go to be, like, a journalism student first to learn how to write.
I guess.
But then, like, what are your prerequisites? I just like to eat, and I love food and flavors, and I don't mind sitting alone.
Maybe you have a culinary background.
Maybe. Yeah, because it seems like all food critics are, like, older people that are, like, sophisticated and sit there with their little notebook and they just have it down. You never see, like, a 20-something-year-old food critic unless they're just writing for their own blog, which isn't as legitimate as something like the Toronto Star.
Yeah. So, yeah, check this out. Lucy Knisley. She's got a website, lucyknisley.com. And her last name really tripped me up. It wasn't until I watched the video that I knew how to say it. It's
Knisley.
Knisley.
Silent K.
Yeah, trips me up.
Alright. Moving along. Okay, so I've been commuting to work. So I have about an hour going to work and an hour coming back home after work to listen to the radio. For the longest time, because my antenna's broken off my car, I couldn't get radio stations. And then one day it was like, it just decided to work.
Oh, magically fixed.
Magically fixed itself. So I've been listening to a lot of Jazz 91.
Yes.
Jazz FM 91.
I grew up on Jazz FM.
Yeah. And we listen to it a lot in our apartment when we're cooking. It just feels so sophisticated having a glass of wine with jazz radio on and
Dinner jazz?
cooking dinner with, what's his
Walter
name?
Vanafro?
No.
Is that who it is?
David Josh.
Somebody else.
I just was listening to it.
I know, I was
Dinner
listening to
jazz with, I don't know, I can't remember.
darn.
And I love how the news reports are from the BBC, because news being reported by somebody with a British accent just seems way more news-like.
Okay, you feel more like a
Montgomery
grown-up?
from the BBC. Anyways, yeah, so I really am liking jazz radio, and I love jazz. I played in the stage band in high school. I think you did too. Georgia played trumpet, and I played sax, and I love jazz music.
I think we should note that we're both very talented. Those were our secondary instruments.
Oh, yes, they were. Georgia played French horn, and I played bassoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're multi-talented people.
Yeah, really cool.
So, yeah, we really like jazz, and I wanted to talk about Jazz FM today because I'm listening to it so much lately and I have a whole new appreciation for it. So they are a not-for-profit radio station, which is really cool. They rely a lot on sponsors and like campaigns for donations and stuff like that. And one of their big things they do each year is this thing called Jazz Lives, and this is their 11th annual one. So Jazz Lives 15. It's happening April 30th. It's a big concert, basically. April 30th also happens to be International Jazz Day.
Nice.
Very cool. There's an international day every day for something. So the show starts at 7:30 p.m. and it's happening at Kerner Hall, which I don't know where Kerner Hall is, but it's here in Toronto somewhere. Tickets started out the lowest range being like $35, and now there's none left below $88. And they're all on like the top like 2 balconies. So I would love to go, but I don't think I can afford it. Some of the people playing are, the headliner is Grammy Award winning Pat Metheny, and he is awesome. And Benny Golson and singer-songwriter Kat Edmondson, who I've never looked into, but the clip that they keep playing for the Jazz Lives like commercial, the clip that they play for Kat Edmondson sounds so good that like I just want to spend this weekend trying to figure out more about her and listening to her. Also performing is the Jazz 91 Youth Big Band, which how cool is that? Like these kids get to go play the same stage as a Grammy Award winning jazz artist. Like that's cool. I wish we had opportunities like that.
I so desperately wanted to be in that when I was in high school. Oh my
Did you ever look into it?
Not really. I think I knew even in high school that I wasn't going to make it as a musician. Like,
yeah.
I was not on that level.
No.
Those kids are probably like,
yeah,
wow.
They live and breathe jazz.
Like, amazing high school prodigies.
Yeah. So that is awesome. Jazz Lives. I've just been hearing a lot about it. It's like planted in my head, so I had to talk about it. Wish I could go. Maybe next year I'll go. And they sell their tickets so quickly. Like every day they're like, okay, there's like tickets are selling. If you want to go, you better get your ticket. And I was like, they always say that just so you go buy it. But when I checked the tickets online, I was like, well, there's actually like none left. The whole like floor is gone, and yeah, all the good seats are gone. There's only there's like probably less than 20 seats left.
Wow.
And it's a pretty big venue.
Probably gone now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, that was this afternoon when I checked. But okay, also jazz related. Georgia and I both love Jamie Cullum.
What a babe.
What a babe. He is from England somewhere. And he's coming to Toronto to play a show. As part of the TD Jazz Festival happening in Toronto. Monday, June 29th at 8 p.m. also at Kerner Hall. Tickets are... This source said $74.50, but when I looked this afternoon, it said between $65 and $75. So kind of expensive, but totally worth it because I don't think he comes here very often, and he is great. So
he is, yeah. He also has a really great show through the radio show through the BBC.
Yeah, they license it out to
Jazz
FM, I think, on like Saturdays or something. So Monday at 8 p.m. What else are you doing? You better go see Jamie Cullum. I really want to go. And I happen to have Mondays off. But I don't know if I will in June. But anyways, so there are 2 cool shows that you can think about going to. You might not make it to Jazz Lives, but you could very well make it to Jamie Cullum.
All right, so one last thing to talk about. Tomorrow, Saturday, I am headed to the One of a Kind show, which I've always been interested in and never made it to. So it is happening March 25th to the 29th, so that's Sunday, I guess is the last day, and I think it closes a bit earlier on Sunday. But I guess by the time this is out, it'll be too late and all done.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get some footage to edit in to this video at some point. But it's at the Direct Energy Center at Exhibition Place in Toronto, and there are over 450 artisans. Like, it's insane. I can't believe how big it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm not really going expecting to buy anything because student life.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting to connect with some other artists and find people to follow on Instagram and get inspired.
Totally so many things you could buy on Etsy. All those kinds of people.
So I'm looking for more people to follow and be inspired by and stuff. And cool. So I will edit in footage from that. The last thing that I had to mention about it is that it's been ongoing since 1975.
That's crazy. That's a long-running thing.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a couple years, but the last time I went was really cool. Definitely overwhelming with the amount of booths that are there.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Foxy jewelry, though, and I have a ton of their stuff. Like, my earrings are always Foxy.
Yeah.
So when I my necklace
at Target.
Yeah.
I love their stuff.
Yeah, so now that Target's closing, I don't know where I'm going to get their stuff. But
One of a
kind craft show.
Yep. Okay, so enjoy this footage, and I guess we will see you next week for episode 33.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.